If you're new to Amazon merch and you just want to know how to tier up fast and how this whole tier system works, or you've been doing Amazon merch for a while and you're just wondering why you are not tiering up, this is the video for you. I am going to break down some of the most common questions about the Amazon merch tier system and some of my best tips for tiering up really fast. I'm Hannah, and on this channel I share about all things print on demand and how to scale and grow your online business. If that's something you're interested in, I would love it if you would subscribe down below for new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. The tier system on Amazon merch is something that gets thrown around all the time here on YouTube, but if you're just starting out, you might not even know what that is or how that works. First, you need to know what are the requirements for tiering up in Amazon merch. First of all, what is the Amazon merch tier system? The tier system is a way that Amazon merch validates users to be able to continue on their program. So when you are first starting out on Amazon merch, you are in what's considered tier 1, and you have 10 slots that you are able to upload and sell products in. As you continue to prove that you are able to sell products, Amazon is going to move you up further and further in different tiers where you are going to have a greater ability to upload products every single day and a greater capacity for how many products you are able to sell at one time. How many tiers are there? Well, there are 8 official Amazon tiers. So the first one being you can have 10 products uploaded, and then the 8th one, you can have 8,000 products uploaded at one time. But we know for a fact, even after these 8 official tiers, there are many, many more tiers following this. Some people even have accounts where they are able to upload 400,000 products at one time. Maybe you're in tier 10 and you just want to know, what are the requirements for tiering up? Well, on the surface, they seem pretty straightforward. You need to have made the number of sales of the current tier that you are in, and you need to have at least 80% of your design slots full. This means that if you're in tier 1, or what a lot of people just call tier 10, you need to have made at least 10 sales to be able to move to the next tier, which is tier 25. And when you're in tier 25, you are going to need to make at least 25 sales to be able to move to the following tier. The nice thing about Amazon merch is you don't have to make the amount of sales in your tier for every single tier. You get to also include the sales that you've made previously. So if you're now in tier 25, you don't have to make 25 additional sales. You only need to make 15 in addition to the 10 you made to be able to get up to tier 25 in the first place. The same goes with the higher tiers as well. The 80% of designs that you need to have uploaded sometimes gets a little bit confusing because one design can be enabled on all of the different products, including pop sockets, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and all the other products that Amazon has for you. That is sometimes confusing because you might have a lot of products live, but you only have a few designs. Amazon wants you to be diversifying the types of products that you are offering. So you are going to have 80% of your design slots uploaded. So if you're in tier 10, that means you're going to have 8 original designs. They can be enabled on other products, but you can't just have one design enabled on 8 products to be able for it to count for that 80% threshold that you need. But some people also get confused the other way, and they think if they're in tier 10, they have the ability to publish their 10 designs to up to 640 products. That does not mean that you're going to have 80% of those 640 products uploaded. You just need to have 8 original designs, and those designs can only be on one product if you want them to be. Once you've made the amount of sales of the tier that you're in and you have 80% of your slots uploaded, you are eligible for the next tier up that Amazon has. Now, when do you actually tier up? This is a little bit tricky because Amazon does not have one set day that they consistently do tier ups on. However, looking at different trends throughout the years, it seems like Amazon about tiers up people once a month, but the day often depends, and sometimes without any notice, they just stop tiering up people for no reason. Typically, Amazon will start with the higher tiers and tier them all up at once, and then follow the next couple days tiering up the lower tiers. So if you're a part of any merch Facebook groups, a lot of times I will see people start saying, oh, I just got tiered up. And if you are eligible for a tier up, you can possibly be looking to tier up in the next few days as well. Another big question that I see is, why am I not tiering up if I'm eligible? There are a few reasons this might be happening. One is that you just met all the requirements for tiering up, but maybe a tier up just happened the week before, so you are at the beginning of that cycle and you're going to have to wait until the next round of tier ups to be able to actually tier up your account. The next thing is Amazon is letting us be a part of this really cool Merch by Amazon program. There is nowhere in a contract or anything that says they are obligated to tier anyone up monthly or on any other basis. So sometimes without reason, Amazon just completely pauses their tier up system. We see this happen a lot right around the holidays where things are getting busy, and I think Amazon just wants to put a pause and get control on their systems. A couple years ago when I first started, I met all of the requirements to be able to tier up to tier 25, but Amazon put a pause on their tier ups for about 3 months, and I didn't see any tier ups happen until the end of that. By the time I did eventually tier up to tier 25, I had already met the requirements to get at least to tier 100, which that was kind of a bummer that I didn't tier up right away. But it was nice because I had already met the requirements for the following 2 tiers. There are also a couple other reasons that you might not be tiering up even if you think that you're eligible, and one of them is your amount of returns. So Amazon does not like to have a lot of returns because it makes them eat a lot of the cost of producing and shipping and storing these items. So they want you to create designs that are going to get as little returns as possible. If you are getting a really unusually high amount of returns or cancellations, this might be a reason that Amazon is holding your account back from tiering up. I typically get about 5 returns for every 100 products that I sell, and it seems like that is about normal. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's a little bit more, but around that range seems to be about what we can expect. But if you see yourself venturing more into the 10-20% return rate, you might need to consider if that is a factor in keeping you from tiering up. If you are getting a lot of returns, I would definitely suggest taking a look at the products that are most usually returned for you and seeing if there's any typos, if there's any problems with the print, if there's any improvements that you can make to maybe make this a product that people aren't going to want to return as frequently. I haven't been able to find this on Amazon Merch's own website or FAQs, but I have heard in the past that when you reach the threshold to be able to be tiered up to tier 500, Amazon sends one of their merch representatives to manually look through your entire account and see if you are going to be a candidate to be able to move on to those higher tiers. It doesn't seem like this process is very strict. They're not looking for you to be the best designer in the world. But I think sometimes if they do find that you have a bunch of products that really don't align with the Amazon brand, or they're promoting things that they don't love, or the designs are just generally low quality, I think this could be something that is holding you back from tiering up into those little bit higher tiers. The next question that I see a lot of people asking is, can you skip tiers? Maybe you're in tier 10 and you ended up making 100 sales in your first month, and you're wondering if you can jump right from tier 10 all the way to tier 100, skipping tier 25. Well, it doesn't seem like that is going to typically be the case. I have heard of a few flukes where people did get tiered from those lower tiers into a higher tier like 100 or 500, but across the board, even if you have thousands of sales in those lower tiers, usually you are going to have to go month by month and work your way up until you get into those higher tiers. But don't be discouraged if you do have thousands of sales. You are going to only spend hopefully just a month in each of those tiers, so you won't be very long until you catch up with your amount of sales. Another question that I see a lot of people asking is, what tier are you eligible to be able to advertise your merch products on Amazon? Amazon Merch in its own FAQ page says that advertising is only on an invitation basis. But we see that pretty much across the board, people who are in tier 500 and up get this invitation and are able to advertise their products. When they first started rolling out the new advertising system, I know the threshold for being invited to this was a lot higher, and they've slowly brought that down, which is really good news for you guys who are in a little bit of a lower tiers. Hopefully that means that eventually they'll even start rolling this out for tier 250 or tier 100 or tier 25 even. However, I don't know that they're going to roll it out to tier 10 anytime soon because a lot of times Amazon uses that first tier to kind of validate that you know what you're doing. And by the time that you reach tier 100, tier 500, you kind of have a better idea of what's going to sell, and you're going to be able to make more effective ads that are going to get people to actually click. If you're not sure if you do have the capability to advertise, go ahead and go to your Amazon merch dashboard, and in the tab right next to the Analyze, you will see a tab that says Advertise. If you don't have that, it means you haven't been invited yet, but don't worry, you just need to wait until you're in a little bit higher to hopefully get invited. Now, one of the most asked questions that people are always asking me, and I'm always seeing posted, is how do I tier up faster, or how do I get out of tier 10 or tier 25? The strategy for tiering up faster is definitely going to change depending on what tier that you're in, but there are some tried and true methods that I have used, that other people have used, and seen a lot of success in getting them to move up the tier ladder really quickly. Tier 25 and tier 10 are really the hardest tiers to be in, and this is where I see the most people end up giving up completely on Merch by Amazon. But if you can stick those out, things really do start to get easier as you have more uploads and more product volume available. If you are trying to do print on demand as a business, I think it's really important to spend as little time as possible in tier 10 and tier 25 because your money making capabilities and possibilities are super limited here until you tier up a little bit more. There are a few different methods to tier up really fast when you are stuck in tier 10. The method that I use, I outlined completely here, and this was basically by creating an Instagram page to become a sales funnel for all of my products. I ended up making 10 sales in just my first week doing this and was able to get the requirements to tier up super fast. I've also seen people create really successful Facebook pages for their products in their niche and funnel a lot of sales to their merch account that way. This could be something like on Facebook, creating a nurse or a teacher meme page, and every 10 posts throwing in one of your Merch by Amazon products that's related to that niche and super funny or unique that is going to get people to click on it and end up making a sale in that related niche. Another method that is super effective, but I know a lot of people don't like to use it. I myself didn't want to do this strategy, but that is you can buy your own products. You are not going to make a lot of money in tier 10, so it's really important to get out of it as fast as possible. So the most surefire way to get those 10 sales is to buy them yourself. I have occasionally here and there bought some of my own products just to look at the quality or for other reasons, and there hasn't been any penalty from Amazon in buying my own products on my own Amazon account. But I know a lot of people are worried about this, that this might flag their account as being kind of spammy. So possibly just ask a family member if they would buy the shirts for you, and then you'll pay them back. If you are pricing your shirts at the lowest possible at $13.07, that means that you've just put up a little over $130 to be able to get yourself out of that first tier, which isn't a huge investment if you know that this business is going to make you more money in the long run. I've also seen people utilize pop sockets, which has a little bit of a lower selling fee, around $11. So if you buy 10 of those, that's only a little over $110. Christmas is also coming up, so if you are stuck in one of the lower tiers and you want some more sales, just decide that across the board people are getting print-on-demand gifts this year, and make something really fun and unique for each member of your family or some of your friends, and that's one way to get a present for them and to get one of the sales that you need to tier up. Another super successful strategy that I've seen so many people in the lower tiers be able to tier up super fast is to jump onto a really popular or hot trend. During the presidential inauguration last year, I decided to watch that event live, and I was taking some notes of some really notable phrases and quotes that people said during the event. And then right away, I actually made some products based on those things that were said. I ended up getting some sales almost immediately. I think I made my first sale the next day that I uploaded that product. So if you are paying attention, you can find these trending phrases or things in pop culture, make some designs really quick, upload them, and then hopefully be one of the first to that niche and capitalize on all the sales that is going to happen for that thing when it blows up. I've heard stories of some sellers that are in tier 10 or tier 25 and they hit the jackpot on one of these trending niches and they end up making thousands of dollars while they're stuck in this lower tier. Another tried and true strategy is to just really spend a lot of time researching those really high traffic, low competition niches with a tool like Merch Informer. This is what I did too in those lower tiers. In addition to utilizing social media, I would spend a lot of time thinking of different trends and thinking of different niches that might have a market for a print on demand product. It's important to always stay up to date with what is trending right now so you can consistently be updating those designs and rotating them out with newer, fresher ones. I actually have a free print on demand newsletter that I send out every Wednesday that includes 5 hot and trending niches right now delivered straight to your inbox. So if you're not subscribed to that, make sure you do. I'll definitely have it linked below in the description. When you do get into those a little bit higher tiers, the strategy for tiering up is going to change a little bit. I think one of the most important things when you're in a higher tier is to be uploading consistently. Not only will this help you increase your volume and hopefully increase the amount of sales that you're getting by getting new items uploaded every single day, it's also going to help you upload to those 80% of designs that you are going to need to fill to be able to tier up. While in the lower tiers, a lot of times the hardest part about tiering up is making those sales, I've seen a lot of people in higher tiers have the sales volume, but they haven't taken the time to actually fill up the 80% of designs that they need. If you are in the higher tiers and still trying to tier up to the next tier, and you have access to advertising, I think now is a really great time to utilize it. If sales are your barrier right now and you don't really care about profit, you just want to move up into the higher tiers, you need to know what the break-even profit for your item is going to be. So for example, if you are selling a standard shirt for $19.99, you know that you are going to be making $5.23 profit on that item. If you only care about sales and don't care about making profit, that means that you can advertise potentially up to more than $5 worth and make one sale and it to still be okay with you. While this isn't a great long-term strategy to be able to build profit in your business, if you really only care about making those sales, this is a great way to be able to break even and still get a few extra sales that you might not have seen otherwise if you weren't advertising. If you're new to print on demand and you're super frustrated that you aren't tiering up and aren't getting sales, I want you to watch this video next where I'm breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes that new print on demand sellers make that are killing their business. I really think that's going to help you out. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.